right, hello, welcome back. I'm Andrew. I'm here with Tiam Rastegar, who is the chair of Boise Entrepreneur Week, and here chatting about Trailmix. So I guess, Tiam, tell us about Trailmix. What's happening this year? What are some of the foods we have involved? I know it's tomorrow, but what can we expect to see tomorrow?
Sure. So tomorrow we'll basically see a Shark Tank style pitch competition. We have 5 finalists. We had about 27 applicants, so they went through quite the screening process. But let's just take a step back thinking about Trailmix. What I want people to understand about Trailmix is that it's a program that was specifically designed for food product entrepreneurs who might find themselves at a farmer's market. And they make small scale, sell on a smaller scale, but they want to grow from farmer's market to supermarket shelves. And so the story goes that one of our members, Louis Armstrong, who makes keto ice cream, better for you ice cream called Killer Creamery, cornered a few Albertsons execs at one of our fundraisers. And this is before my time at Trailhead, so I was only told this story. But he cornered them and he basically force-fed them his ice cream. And they liked it. And they said, hey, you should be on our shelves. You're an Idaho-based company. We're an Idaho-based company. And so Albertsons and Killer Creamery really were the precursor to Trailmix. And we took a step back and we said, wait a minute, that just happened. How do we programmatize this? And so Trailmix was born. And so, with that, you'll see 5 local, small food product entrepreneurs, CPG companies. I know we have an organic coconut water. Mm-hmm. There's also going to be a functional mushroom company that I'm kind of excited about. And I happen to coach them and mentor them leading up to Trailmix. And then we also have Nosh Foods, which is a vegan cream cheese spread. And you can actually get their product around town at Goldstein's Bagels. But they're trying to make the leap to CPG and get on the shelf. I'm not to CPG, but to retail and get on Albertsons shelves. And so, look, we're super grateful that Albertsons does this because, for small entrepreneurs to get on that shelf, they have to go through quite the journey, not just to become a vendor. And that's kind of where your expertise comes in, right? We kind of just met through another, Entrepreneur Week warrior, I call her, Jessica Cafferty. And I didn't appreciate that Oppenheimer Companies also runs CPG companies, and that's what you do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and you hit it exactly right. We do some private label, but we also do, branded CPG, and the journey from an idea on a new product to being on the shelf for any brand is long and arduous.
What do you see the obstacles for those early stage entrepreneurs? Like, is there a common theme? Are they banging their heads against the same wall, or is it just different depending on the product and the category?
Yeah, I mean, it's take a pick. There's a lot of challenges, right? I mean, part of it's just awareness, right? How do you get your brand out there among all the other brands that are vying for not just a place on the shelf, but just attention, right? Just mind share. How do you get it to the store, right? Or if it's online, how do you get it to the consumer, right? How does it make its way there? The logistics of it are really challenging. It's, especially if we deal a lot with frozen, it's a whole set of different logistics. Getting it on the shelf is sort of part one, right? And getting it on the shelf is important. You got to get it there so people can see it, and then getting it off of the shelf is a whole other, marketing
into people's basket, and then hopefully to the home.
Exactly. So, I think those are big ones. Marketing and awareness, logistics, capital just to get your inventory made, right? Where are you manufacturing it? Is it being, product being co-packed? How do you get that continuity of supply? For many products, you produce it, and then the clock is ticking, right? In terms of expiration dates and all that stuff, it's not like you have a
shelf stability, right? That's a big one tomorrow, because I think 2 of the companies, speaking of logistics, they have to refrigerate their product, and so you being a judge, you'll get to taste their stuff tomorrow. But we had to figure out here at Jump. So where do we put it? Because they want to bring it in the night before, they don't want to do it all last minute. And so we had to work out, a deal with Jump because, they have a commercial fridge that they keep the food that we eat at this event. And so we just got a small taste of what logistics may look
All
like.
those challenges are the same if you take those brands to a trade show. How do you get your product there? How do you make sure it's the right temperature that it should be, and that all the various folks touching it are making sure it's intact and it's not taking too much abuse. So it's a huge part of it.
Speaking of trade show, you were just at one. We caught up a little bit before you got on camera.
Yeah, I was at a distributor of ours, had a trade show, and then we have another food distributor buying group division where we had our own trade show. So I spent a full week in Las Vegas. So I was happy to be back and return to Boise and a little bit, mellowed out a little bit.
Any key takeaways? Is there any new innovation on the horizon, or was there something you didn't expect to see at the trade show?
Yeah, plenty of functional mushroom stuff out there. I mentioned to Nick, we do a lot of better for you, so there's no shortage of better for you brands in that, in the space, both in frozen and shelf stable. I think, you're seeing, you see the rise and falls of a lot of different types of products. Keto was big for a while. It's a little less big now, but it's still a big deal. Mushrooms, I mentioned. Anything functional is whether that's probiotics, whether that's
so food as medicine
collagen.
kind of trend.
Yeah,
would you say that?
I think there's a lot more of a focus on that than there has been traditionally. Things like digestibility. These were not necessarily at the forefront of people's minds, 20 years ago, and now there's functional mushroom beverages probably would not be on a shopping shelf 20 years ago. So that's definitely happening, and it's also fun to see all this this convergence in Boise. I mentioned the trade show in Las Vegas where there's tons of trade shows, but you mentioned giving local brands a chance to actually get noticed here in Boise, and I think that's part of the appeal of Trailmix is they can actually find a forum to talk about their brands and present them to folks.
You got to give folks a shot. Obscurity is one of the biggest killers of early stage
Absolutely.
entrepreneurship in general. You mentioned it, marketing, right? How do you get the word out? How do you let people know that you're here doing what you're doing? And Trailmix is just one of many platforms, but it's proven to be, Boulder has Naturally Boulder, and Idaho, we here in Boise have Trailmix. And so I couldn't be more excited for you to join us as a judge.
I'm excited for tasting a lot of foods tomorrow. And
you get to taste a lot. You get to ask a lot of good questions because you know the inside and outside of CPG of the business. So I'm excited for that. You do have a functional mushroom chocolate bar in your VIP bag.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know what flavor.
Right.
I didn't go that far in the reconnaissance, but I know there's something in there. So you'll get to taste at least one of the products ahead of time.
I'm excited. It's always fascinating just hearing from founders. They're passionate. They're about what they're making. I always feel like I always learn a lot. I talk to a lot of founders at various food shows, and it's just the passion that goes into just launching it, let alone getting it on the shelf and everything we're talking about. It is no small feat.
And food, I have to say, I'll double click on what you just said. Food especially because, frankly, it's visceral, right? The founders who create the product, they either create it because it doesn't exist and they want to solve a problem that they have on their own, or in Blue Toad and the functional mushroom company that you'll see tomorrow, it was a personal health journey that person was on. So I just find that the stories behind the food product entrepreneurs, they're more, there's a bigger emotional tie because food is visceral. We put it inside of us, and just looking at them as someone at a farmer's market who then has a product on the shelf would be short-sighted, and you'll hear the stories tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm
excited.
And I can't wait for that to go down. And by the way, for all of you who still want to join, attendance is free. Go to boiseentrepreneurweek.org, get your free admissions ticket, and join us at the Trailmix pitch competition tomorrow from 5 to 7 right here at Jump. Andrew will be judging. I will be judging silently in the back, and we look forward to hosting all of you there. We'll be back, but first, a word from our sponsors.